Well, let's talk to the journalist Sonia Poulton about this. She's currently making a documentary about gender. Sonia, good morning to you.
Morning, Vanessa.
So would you like your children or grandchildren or children that you know to play with this doll, this gender-neutral Barbie?
I wouldn't care either way, and the reason is I don't see anything particularly progressive. We keep going on about how we've become suddenly more gender neutral and the importance of it. I can't recall a time in our history when we've never been more gender obsessed, Vanessa. We are so obsessed. We're teaching children at nursery school about gender, at primary school, at secondary school, it's in mass media. We are utterly obsessed with it. And what Mattel have done is said, oh, look, this is another way for us to reinvent the wheel. I mean, when you look at those dolls, there's really nothing different to what people have been doing for decades. It's almost like the 80s never happened with men expressing a more feminine side to themselves, and the 90s never happened where women expressed a more masculine side of themselves. So I find the whole thing a bit bizarre, to be honest with you, Vanessa.
But I've never seen, maybe you have, but I have never seen before a doll that doesn't immediately proclaim its sex. I mean, I've seen, Ken dolls and Spider-Man dolls and Batman dolls, and I've seen princess dolls and baby dolls and just little girl dolls. And the normal thing is that the definition is very clear. As you're given the doll, you know whether it's a girl or a boy.
Yes,
that's the first thing that you know.
Saying.
And this one, you don't know. You look at the doll, and some people out there in the street said, I think it might be a boy. And some people said, is it a girl? I'm not quite sure. But the point is, that's the first, isn't it? You've got a doll and you haven't got a delineation of what kind of a doll it is. It's up to you to decide.
Look, I do understand what you're saying, but really, let's have a look at what they're saying is apparently gender neutral, yeah? I mean, they're talking about, adding a baseball cap and khaki jeans to a girl. So to me, this already is starting off from a bad position. That's just only one example, but all of it is really sort of standard stuff. Putting long hair on, a doll that could be a boy, putting short hair on a doll that could be a girl. All of it is really, really standard stuff.
But you say that, but when has there ever been the chance to do that before? Are there other dolls that exist in the world like those before? Because I'd never heard of them.
But is it really progressive? That's the thing, because all they're doing is playing into age-old gender stereotypes. Look, do you know about the campaign group Let Toys Be Toys, which has actually lost the plot of late? But the origination of it was actually really noble and very much about, questioning sort of excessive gender stereotyping of toys that was being fed to children. But I literally don't think there's anything particularly exciting or progressive about it. And in fact, I would go further and say that we should really be questioning it, because what we do know now, without question, and what I've certainly learned in the documentary, Vanessa, is that we are at a very dangerous point with our children in terms of the whole issue of gender and how we are sort of actively encouraging, promoting, and a type of social contagion around the issue of if boys don't relate to being boys, then they must be girls, and if girls don't relate to being girls, then they must be boys, and that is extremely dangerous.
But isn't that the absolute diametrical opposite of what this toy is intending to achieve?
No,
it is not saying that. It is not saying that if you don't feel
it literally plays exactly.
How?
Into that
Why?
whole
How does
thing.
it do that?
Well, because it already says that there is a gender to things, objects, to hairstyles, to clothes.
But it doesn't, though. But it doesn't say that at all. It doesn't say that. It offers a variety of different clothing, headgear, wigs, glasses, shoes, and you can decide yourself as a child, as the person playing with it, what kind of selection you want to make and what kind of atmosphere you want to create.
You don't think this is all marketing? Are you actually telling me you, Vanessa Feltz, have been bought on the idea that this is something progressive, this is something different, and this is not about Mattel making a fast buck? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know about a fast buck. Obviously, it's a company and it's selling dolls and it wants to sell dolls. But I think that, I mean, my paper reviewer said, as a little boy, if he'd been given this doll, he would have been utterly enchanted by it.
Wonderful.
Thrilled with
and
it.
I love that. That's what I'm encouraging. What I am encouraging, Vanessa, which I think is true gender neutrality, is not to even have to make a deal about it. We absolutely shouldn't be making a big deal about it to children, because actually, as one of your callers said a couple of calls back, and I heard him and I heard what he was saying as a father, is we are actually effectively implanting ideas. Why do we feel the need to do that? I don't know anybody under 10 who says, I want a gender neutral doll. This is all being pushed by adults. So that's what we need to be looking at. I don't think there's anything noble in these dolls, or indeed anything different. I think that they just reinforce gender stereotypes, if anything. And the bigger question question to me is what is happening with our children in terms of our gender obsession and who is benefiting from it?